Greetings, I am Lies and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together!
Yeah, I don't think the Lazarette likes that plan.
The Lazarette has feelings. Stay behind me, is my response to your plan.
Okay. Nadia's arm shoots out, keeping me from walking further. When I look past her, I see what stopped us. Because apparently I was looking around, or looking somewhere else, or not paying attention to the person I was having a conversation with.
Eyes only for her at all times, but she's looking ahead of the road.
I feel like that's very indicative of this game. The love interest will direct the story and actually leads the story where it needs to go. Like, that's very symbolic. Good job, friend.
Well done.
Figures are forming from the fog in front of us. Shuddering, shambling shapes. Somebody really liked alliteration there for 5 seconds. Blocking our way.
Okay, so first, it was nighttime and all we could see was stars and water. Then the trees blocked out the sun and now there's mist. Where did the mist come from? Because it doesn't say...
No, I understand the mist part. The mist part on an island makes a lot of sense, because if you're talking about a tropical area, there's a lot of water, there's a lot of mist, like, that just comes in a lot. That just
But
happens.
we haven't mentioned it before. It's saying...
No, we did.
When did we mention the fog?
We did. It was earlier.
Okay, I forgot it. Never mind then. My bad. Figures in the
The
mist.
problem that I had was we're just changing times of day.
That's a good one.
It completely blocks out the sun.
When did the sun
Except that we
exist?
except we should still be able to see. It's just fine. Blocking our way. Beaks sprout from their heads, red eyes glowing like hot coals as they lift their hands.
It's okay, I'm really just beak spout for their heads. It's not face, but head, so I'm just picturing it on the top of their head.
I used to! Or it's like, in a real true, like, body horror kind of way, just randomly, like, multiple beaks. Because they just said beaks sprout from their heads, so it's like, what is this, a crown of beaks? On, like, skeletal figures? Or is it coming out of their eyes, like the Corinthian?
Or is it just, like, wherever upon them, and then glowing eyes as well?
And glowing eyes that are popping out, like, I guess Beetlejuice or something.
Wherever.
Let's drop references today. Skeletal fingers all pointing at me.
Stay close, Corso.
Okay.
You don't want them to poke you.
Nadia clears her throat and approaches the creatures because she knows what action to take, and this is the most reasonable.
I have decided to talk to them. It's your journey. Allow me to do it for you.
Well, no, we did. It's fine. This is Nadia's. But like, I sometimes find this to be fascinating, where everything has to be like a confrontation. You can't just like walk away. Even if it's like I have to talk to it, you could just be like, "Hey, an action that I can take is not interact."
Yeah, it's no options.
Yeah. They part to let us pass. But I'm not walking. Nadia approaches, so that implies that our character stays behind.
So, they're all up there pointing at you, and Nadia leaves you where you are and approaches them, and they all part to let you both pass, even though you're back there.
My whole brain hurts, chittering among themselves. I can make out a few words amongst the whispers.
Wait, are the chitters whispers, or amongst the chitters? Whispering chitters?
Chittery whispers?
Chittery whisper. Would
feel
you like some chittery whispers?
You know, I think it's really interesting. So some people have also actually, mentioned, that sometimes the way that people use descriptives is hilarious, because you'll do a modifier to a descriptor that makes literally no sense.
That makes it not work anymore.
Or screamed, whispered, or something. Sometimes the shit is, for the most part,
a whispered scream.
A whispered
I've heard
scream.
that one.
Yes,
yeah.
and you sort of go,
yeah?
it can make sense, if you know what it is, but a great way also that it was actually used is I feel like was used in Howl's Moving Castle, except for the fact that it was kind of a subversion, where it's this is where you're supposed to be whispering and telling each other sweet things, and they just spend the entire carpet ride screaming at each other, and it's hilarious. Yep, okay. This one is sick. Yes, we'll have to do something about that.
When did we get plague-masked creatures to go with the beaky eye creatures?
I don't know.
Just asking. Maybe the beaky eye creatures are supposed to look like plague-masked creatures somehow? It's okay.
Another of the creatures nods. fingers brushing lightly against my arms as I pass, because now I'm moving.
Because I now stopped staying where Nadia told me to stay.
And apparently they're close enough to us that...
And they only parted just enough. Like someone who's like waiting in a doorway and you're like, I need to get in there.
I gotta tell you,
scoot over a tiny bit, so you really have to like squeeze against them to get in.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like a really like large gesture of you can pass kind of thing. That feels like we maybe like shuffled and you took it as you could pass.
Corazon turns sideways and crab walks gently through. Crab walking is a theme now. And they're just still poking.
Holding
so
their
just gentle fingers just brushing against you as they poke, frozen in space.
They're pointed like this, and then it's just like as you see you go by, so it just sort of scrapes across your Thank you, I hate this. Pass against me as I pass.
There's no saving them. They're already dead.
One of them grabs my shoulder, stopping me from walking. They no longer have a hand.
I remove their hand, and then I continue walking.
Whoop, boink. It happens all at once. They surround me, separating me from Nadia.
Because this one time I was not close enough to reach out and grab her hand. But every other time I was.
Because, she stayed with us, but she wasn't it's fine.
But this time she didn't stay with us. She walked ahead, and we never walked after her, but we went as well.
I don't even. This is so weird.
Okay,
there are no words now. Just a cacophony of shrieks. Their hands grab at me, tearing at my skin.
Ow? Like,
Corazon, this is a realm.
I was gonna say, you don't have any actual skin. No skin.
Stop it.
Corazon!
Get up.
Corazon pulls out a fan, pops it open, waves it at them.
Smack!
Gently blows them away.
I catch one last glimpse of Nadia over the pile of monsters. Alright, so I'm a horrible person. I wasn't reading properly, so I said over the balls of monsters. And I was like,
wait a second.
What?
Okay, but for me,
I'm buried under their weight.
Okay, but I need to say, that's amazing. And also, they're just standing there. They're just around us. They're just a swarm. Now they're a pile.
Yes, well, because they have all decided to leap upon it. How big are these assholes?
But also, like, over a pile of monsters. Are they short? They were poking you in the ankles as they were pointing.
No, it was our arm. Oh, they are reaching up.
Reaches way up with a really long
Hello, I have
arm.
a really bad analogy for... I also have a really bad savage trope. How are you doing today?
Okay, it's about 1.5 feet tall, but it just reaches up with extendo bone arm to grab your shoulder. Pip.
Honestly?
And then all of them come rushing in and just stack up on top of each other and just pile around you, making this little, like, pyramid igloo of, bony monsters.
As
shadow monsters.
No, as horrible as it sounds, my first thought is honestly to think of the second Mummy movie where they have the little pygmy mummies.
Oh, God.
Even though I'm like, oh, that was
really not good.
Unfortunate continual racism. Though that really wasn't their fault, because if they were forced to become mummies against their own will, and if they're just being manipulated, yeah, that's not them. It's okay. Yep. It's fine.
Not their fault at all.
Anyway, before I'm buried under their balls.
Their weight.
The weight of their balls. My vision is filled with balls and nothing else. Red balls.
Oh, God.
Red rocket. Dead, already dead. Dead, already dead. They're like jumping around on you, dancing on you.
Okay, this is a
Corazon flattened down.
I was like, it's a Disney number where all of them just swarm up on you, and Nadia turns around and sees these just swarming creatures piling up on you. You disappearing under them, this hand just disappearing as Corazon is consumed beneath the pile, and then they're just like, pop, all in frozen in place and poses, and then they're just like, dead, and the musical number starts. They're already dead. Tapping their feet, holding little bone canes.
Dearly, and then like Danny Elfman music cracks in or something. But past the screaming, because I this whole time haven't done a damn thing.
What screaming? Who's screaming?
Who's screaming?
I
can hear another voice.
The creatures are screaming. The pile is screaming.
Well, that's why I was saying, because this whole time our character hasn't done anything, which I think is really interesting. We're not trying to tell you how your character would react. Except that I feel like your character should fucking react.
Should do something.
That seems reasonable.
One of them grabs my shoulder. Before I have time to react, and the entire process do not have time to react, even though I can watch them surround me, feel them pile onto me, and watch
And
myself
I can talk about every
feel
single
myself
step of what's
get
going
sunk
on.
beneath them, and Nadia watch it and hear her call out
Because this
to
is
me.
a first... Okay, so one of the reasons why this is really irritating is because this is a first-person perspective story. If your character has enough time, because you have to assume the character is the one telling you the story, to tell you each and every single part of what's going on, without truncating it enormously or saying it after the fact, because they finally have enough time to, quote, tell you, as it were, or even tell themselves what just the fuck happened.
Yeah, it's like
It
they should
doesn't
have had
work.
time to react.
Yeah.
Okay,
I hear it
another
come near
voice.
another voice. It grows louder and louder until it drowns out everything else.
If I had ears, I'd be real sad right now.
Yes.
Okay, you're in a pile of screaming monsters,
Uh-huh.
and the noise that is outside of the pile of screaming monsters gets so loud that you cannot hear them, even packed in next to your ears. That'd be so loud.
Yeah, that would be really fucking
So
incredibly
loud.
painful. Just so
All
you
right,
know.
drowns out everything else.
Drowns out everything else.
I'm
I'm assuming devil.
assuming devil.
The voice that thunders and booms.
Or
But it's so...
it just pervades, and you call it loud, even though it's just pervasive.
Yes.
He projects well.
He is... he is an opera singer.
King of projection. Ready?
Well. This is a bit of a pickle. That is what you mortals call it. Yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot the devil actually has different text.
Has font.
He has different font. I wish they had all the other Arcana with different font.
It would be so nice.
I don't know what, like, it's an interesting convention choice, but it also is like, but then everybody else should have one?
Going, why is the
Especially
devil...
because, like, you could imply then
different?
basically some form of character actually using the font. So you could actually then use the text to your advantage to imply character without directly stating it.
Yes, good, and I like that. Also, I'm going to posit the devil's such an emo edgelord, admired his own thing, that he picked out a font for himself, and everyone else is like, why? And it's not a phase!
Mom! He's like Death from Terry Pratchett, where he speaks in all capitals, but they're not, like, huge capitals, because otherwise that'd take up the whole page.
So for him, what he's doing is basically speaking in a deeply affected voice.
Yes.
But it's theatrical. It's not something that's natural to him at all, because he picked it up from like human ideals of like theater and media.
Or something. Honestly, who knows? Because, again, we have no culture around basically how do the Arcana actually interact with us? How do we interact with the Arcana?
Yes, I get that. But I just came to a thing.
Go ahead.
So, truly what the devil is, the reason he's so fascinated with human people, and only humans can entertain me, and it's so boring in the Arcana, and I just want chaos and to watch the world burn, but stay burning and not go away. He's a human weeaboo. He's a big human nerd, and he just wants to see all the human things and experience human stuff.
He's from he's Leviathan from Obey Me.
Yeah, he is.
Yes, but
He is.
like,
but for humans instead of anime.
Yeah.
And less weird sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though, honestly, like, I could totally see the devil still doing that. Because the thing is, like, just because someone is more smooth about it, does not mean they're any less of a creep.
The devil, I will merge, I will move to the human world. Us. Oh, you a big fanboy, huh?
Right?
Want to go visit them? You need one of them cowboy hats, yeah? And like a flag and some shoes. You're gonna need shoes.
That's an American weeaboo. You don't have to make him All Might.
Damn! Okay, you're gonna need like a kimono, and you're gonna need like a bolero, and you're gonna need like a hanfu, and you're gonna need
a sombrero, and you're gonna need some other Dutch shoes.
You're gonna need some clogs. You're gonna need you definitely
a tunic, a Turkish tunic.
You're gonna want a turban.
A turban.
You're gonna need so many things.
You're gonna get as many racial stereotypes in here as you fucking can do before you get thrown out
and
the window.
stack them on your body.
Yes.
All of them. You get your hands henna, to get your face painted up for the Day of the Dead. All of it. You can do it.
Pretty much. Blacken your teeth.
Go enjoy.
Yeah, have fun.
Human weeaboo, all the human tropes.
Lots of beaded garments as well.
Don't forget to dread your hair.
All right.
What you mortals call it, yes.
Poor devil.
It's a pervasive, loud, thundering voice that is muffled and coming from my dad. What the fuck?
Okay, the voice is so loud that it covers all other sound, but it's muffled. It's the screaming gale of metal speaking through your pocket.
How the fuck does... Okay, I'm home.
How does that work? That sounds amazing.
Honestly, okay, sometimes I like paradoxical imagery, but in this case, I'm just annoyed, because I'm so annoyed with so many other things.
It's like,
so
why?
I can admit that it could work poetically, especially because it's an Arcana realm.
Right.
It is bizarre as they could be, but in this case, I'm like, I will admit that I am a grump, so I'm probably being a little bit unfair in some of my critiques because it gets aggravated. It gets to be more and more basically straws where you go, is this one also going to break it? Is this one also... Yeah, so...
I was going to say, my friend Scandal here and I were just discussing briefly how in Julian's route we discussed that there was ludonarrative dissonance, a dissonance between what it seemed like the story wanted you to do and what the gameplay itself wanted you to do,
right?
Which is literally what the term means, and that we suffered from it a lot.
So, like, the mechanics and the choices that you have do not line up with what the text of the story itself says.
Such as, in a specific example that we can encounter several times, the text of the story says you're in a real big fucking hurry or everything will be real bad.
If you don't leave immediately.
The mechanics of the story say, would you like to choose to hang around and be sexy?
Yeah.
And so that. But in this one, I'm getting basically narrative dissonance, where the narrative, and it makes it harder to access other things and makes more things nitpicky like this.
Yes.
Is over and over again, everyone says and confirms and reaffirms, even the big authoritative figures that cannot lie, the magical arcana, this is your journey, the MC's journey. You are the one with the power. You are the one that needs to do this. You are the only one that can affect this. And the story is writing that Nadia is doing all of it.
Yeah.
And so that's really dissonant and makes it hard for me to connect.
Yes.
Muffled from the deck.
Coming from my deck. I struggle against the hands gripping me to pull the card free.
Okay.
In my pocket.
Here's a question. You're flattened under a giant pile of these monster things, right?
Uh-huh.
And you don't struggle, you don't cry out, you don't do anything. You just describe the scene as it happens, as you slowly sink in them like quicksand, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, the first thing you do after reacting to this voice is struggle enough to get a card out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Little interesting.
Little...
They're poking me. One of them grabs me. They swarm me. I do nothing.
I mean, and
they pile on top of me. I do nothing. I hear these noises. I do nothing. Nadia screams. I do nothing.
Part of the reason also that I tend to find this even more irritating is because they've been very inclined to tell us in some cases what our character will be acting like or how they will react.
Uh-huh.
And now they're not doing it. And it seems like the perfect time to tell us when our character has been either incredibly self-confident or overly confident, or like the way that they've written the MC in this route, it seems like a perfect time for the MC to do something stupid or
to say
to react
how they're feeling or what they're doing with their body or anything.
Yeah, it's weird. Mm-hmm. It's totally inconsistent.
All right.
To pull the card free. A robed
figure. It's missing everything. It's been stolen from. Oh, sorry.
We're talking about death, so yes.
No, a robbed figure. It's the fool. You stole their body.
I feel like death still works here.
It's fine. Go ahead.
It's fine.
A robed figure grins back at me from the faces of the card.
What?
What
is a pickle? Wait. If we know what potatoes are, we should probably know what a pickle is.
Why would the devil... I really was trying to resist going, why would the devil be using a particular idiom from one area where you might not even fucking have pickles?
I told you, because he's a human weeaboo. That is the only explanation in my mind.
I actually would really like to know when they came up with pickles. I think pickles have been around. Actually, like
pickling
fermented
technology
food
has been around forever.
Yeah, but like pickles.
Specifically pickles rather than pickled things? I'm not sure.
Because, like, I know the Japanese have had them for a long time. You can find them in all parts of Asia, Southeast Asia. Like, it's
Italy? Is
Italy?
pickling?
Yeah, because they had Rome, they had the specific kind of, like, pickled sauces and stuff like that. I've watched a few documentaries about that sort of thing. Like, it's really fascinating.
So, are we suggesting that our character has the option to not know what a pickle is? But everything else they have just known what is?
I mean, the thing is I can't tell actually if I don't even think they're going to go that far. I think part of this is why the hell is this the devil, like the death card looking at me?
This is a pickle. Sorry, that's an agreement, not what is a pickle.
Yeah, no, this is a pickle. I don't even know, this is what I'm saying, like, I don't even know how to read this.
So do we agree with the death card, or which is also, except for it's the devil speaking, or...
Oh, no, that's death speaking. Wait, what? I remember death specifically
Death has a special font then?
No, I thought the devil had special font. I remember
I
that.
thought so.
So the devil has special font,
Maybe
but it's
they
like so
both
does
do?
death as
Question
well?
mark? But only those two?
I don't remember because I don't remember who else has yet to be.
Well, if we can hear them, we don't need what?
Yeah, so you just be like, this
is
a pickle.
This
I
is
agree.
a pickle.
This is a pickle. So I'm actually not doing death. I think you did death because you did the cat.
I did.
So my apologies, guys. This is not the devil. This is death.
Oh dear. I don't know if I remember Death's voice.
Can you help?
I remember Death being kind of cute because of being peppy, but...
Which I thought was, you know,
Mhm.
because death was never necessarily that aggressive thing. It was what Valdemar took from them.
Yes.
Death has never spoken to me so directly before, and they rarely show up to give me advice. Because of Valdemar, but you don't know that in this route for reasons.
It's okay.
In fact, I think this is the first time I've ever heard their voice so clearly.
I don't remember. It's been so... I've had like a couple of lines with Death at the end of the last one. It's been months since I've done this character.
It's okay, make something new up. Who cares? It's a different character, so you might hear a different voice.
That's true. And also, if they're not wearing a cat body, they might sound different as well.
They might.
That is what I'm here for. Yes.
But how am I able to see and talk to death? Shouldn't I be drowning under a sea of monsters?
Sea of Monsters! The really bad movie.
God, that movie was bad. So it dawns on me suddenly. This isn't real. Like I said, nothing is attacking me, right?
The thing that was invading my mind has invaded my mind again. And I recognized it, and then it happened again. It's like that thing of going, I'm going to walk into the kitchen and do this one task, and get distracted 8 times along the way.
You know what I think is really funny?
Huh.
So this unfortunately, I think that's part of the reason I got a little bit annoyed about that, is that your character not reacting, is because that is a very specific tell that the writers of the story really have of when they're trying to convey that something doesn't really matter, or it's not really actually happening. They give themselves away pretty solidly several times. Like, this doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's almost always consistently, it's not happening.
Corazon.
Or it literally means very little.
Nothing is attacking me, right? Beetle Julian walks by, hissing.
Nothing is attacking me, right?
You are a clever little mortal. Yes, you have been taken on what I believe is called a ruse cruise.
I've never heard of a ruse cruise.
I have heard it as alliteration before, but are cruises a thing here? Is that a local colloquialism? Is death a human weeaboo?
Also, I wonder if that's actually, like, okay, so here's the stupid question. When did the word cruise come into usage in the English language? Because as far as I know, cruises are specifically a pleasure thing.
So cruising has been around forever as the function, not as an object. So you can cruise. People went cruising in cars. People did cruising, like basically just moving around. But a cruise, in the sense of a ruse cruise, someone takes you on a cruise like a boat ride, is much more modern. You're gonna need cruise word definition.
Sure, let's do a definition instead.
Cruise definition.
Definition. Present participle. Yeah, well, I know it's a present participle. Stop it. I want to know when it showed up.
Participlication.
Participication. Where is its history?
I don't know, but we may not have time to find it here.
In the watery path of Medina, cruising in quest of some region of gold, these isles had sprung up. I'm like, I need to. I feel like.
You could just search origin of the word cruise.
Right. Hang on, let me look at the Cambridge one real fast. Sorry, guys, we do this once in a while because I really just want to know. I'm like, I feel...
Sometimes a word feels a little odd the way it's being placed.
I'm also feeling like, is that they did ruse cruise because they wanted to say something else? Because I'm trying to remember what the... You've been taken for a ride, basically. Like, would that be too on the note? I'm like, but taken for a ride is...
I think they just wanted it to sound funny. That would be my best guess.
Alright, fine. A ruse cruise.
Ruse cruise.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone use that phrase. But otherwise, death is right.
So you know what it means because it's a dream realm, or so that's why you can say, but otherwise death is right, or you can say, I don't know that phrase at all.
I think you should just say, I I don't know that phrase. What the fuck? Because I've certainly never heard it before.
Yeah.
Again, they are making decisions for your character. Apparently, we never heard anyone use that phrase before. Might mean that we've literally never heard it before. Or two, going, I have heard of it, but I've never actually heard anyone say it. Because death might actually be a weeaboo.
It could also be I've never heard anyone use that phrase again before, meaning again, I don't understand what that means.
Yes, exactly. The more I look around, the more I realize there's nothing holding me back. I'm just floating in a sea of red.
And Nadia is gone.
And beaks. Coming out of skulls. But realizing that hasn't cleared the haze, I feel stifled, suffocated, and Nadia's nowhere to be seen.
Accurate.
Oh, what do I do now? How do I get out?
Corazon floating gently, flattened out in this haze, holding a card, staring at it, having a conversation, like it's a cell phone.
Right, exactly. Don't
It's
drop
like
it,
also-
knock it on your face.
I was gonna say, Corazon, don't drop it on your face. Also, though, we're just going, hi, oh, my deck is ringing, I have to get this.
I know, excuse me, my deck is ringing.
My deck is ringing. Oh, it's a call from death, I've got to take this.
Excuse me, death is calling. We're really close friends, don't you know? It reminds me of that time that...
You're already out? You're already dead?
Well, that's not very helpful. What's that supposed to mean?
Uh-huh.
Am I just supposed to stay here? Like a ghost? Is this where we're going? I don't understand.
Help me be clearer. I need clarity.
I also am kind of cracking up because, didn't we already go through this? Where we were already told that we'd already died and going, I don't know who I am, suddenly, and then we had that breakdown.
Oh, we did.
And I'm like, why are we doing this again? Why is this coming up again?
I assume this is something else since we already know it and we already got our body back.
And because the thing is we're actually alive now, except that we're somebody else anyway, because we literally it's fine.
It's
fine.
okay,
It's fine.
okay.
I don't understand.
Ah, I see the concern here. Yes, your mortal mind still perceives your situation as being in a pickle. You must let go. This is in your path. You must kill it to set yourself free. My past makes me strong. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. We already said that we were going to keep moving forward. This is a no fucking brainer.
Keep moving forward. Keep moving. Keep moving.
Corazon, if I kept looking backwards, I would never get out of that.
I would never leave Astra behind.
I would never change fashions.
It's true. I would never change my clothes. I would never progress.
It would also be you're right. It's that's what I was doing.
It
so
would be
this
correct.
Correct.
Accurate.
Then I guess I will more aggressively, directedly quote, kill it. Correct. I mean, you're right.
Yes, I often am.
I wasn't kidding. We've already had this epiphany. Why are we doing this again?
Yeah, what are we
Is this
doing?
to ensure that we actually understand what we've chosen?
Or is it supposed to show that basically moving into the devil's realm, like, messed us up so much that we lost sight of everything, and death is the only one that can give it back because our mind was taken over?
I would have really liked to have seen that process happen earlier in the Devil's Realm rather than just being dropped randomly in the middle of it, because sure as fuck it means no emotional tension to me at all. It seems actually rather half-assed.
Well, again, there is that experience of, I'm in my shop, and my mind is completely taken over with, I belong here, and I live here. So there is the mental subversion or cloaking there.
Yeah.
And then you remember Nadia, but then you seem to forget that the realm around you is pretend. Then you leave out the back and you go, we can choose whatever, but then she chooses and you follow her. And then it gets less and less real and you get less and less autonomy from there, and now death is pulling you out of it. So it kind of was a progression, but it depends on how you look at it, because it seems like we became aware and lost it over and over again.
Yeah, like I said, it's not working for me.
It's okay.
I don't care who I was in the past. I don't care what happened to me.
Agreed.
It doesn't have to decide who I'll be in the future, which is actually true. Every moment is literally basically death of the past, because it's there and then it's gone.
An opportunity to choose something different.
I need to let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
I knew that was coming for
Don't
myself.
hold it back anymore.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
Death never bothered me anyway.
For myself, for Nadia. The past can't hurt me anymore. I mean, no, that's not necessarily true. The past can actually come back and cause you problems, but you don't necessarily have to interact with it in the same way at all.
Yeah, so say the past still can, in fact, hurt you.
It also depends
on
on how your justice system works.
Yes.
Because so there's an interesting discussion actually involving basically how do you actually execute justice? Because if you go with the belief, and it is true, that you have the ability to change as you continue to move forward in your own life, as you continue to live, you have the ability to change at any point in time. Does that not mean that the person who you were in the past is not who you are now? Like, you literally considering how much even your cellular structure changes.
So, one can look at that and go, if we say that we are the same people we used to be, we're all still infants.
Yes.
Every person used to be a baby, and so they all still are if we do not change.
Yes.
And so it can be difficult to exact justice in any kind of true fashion in the sense of, like, law and punishment, because that person is not the person they were when they made the choice that broke the law.
Mm-hmm. Or
violated someone's rights or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, does that mean that because a lot of people basically are continued to be encouraged to lack self-awareness or interact with their own experiences, that in that way they are, quote, the same person? No, yeah.
I mean, you still have components of the same thing, but often you learn as you move forward and you change. We're supposed to.
We are supposed to change. The past can't hurt me anymore. It's time to be a new person with a new life. This time, I'll do it right.
Did you do it wrong the last time? We don't remember the last time. Why would you say I'll do it right this time?
I gotta tell you, game, the fact that you keep trying to give me an emotional crisis, or give your character an emotional crisis about the thing in the past, literally doesn't make any sense to me. Because again, because of your lack of desire to actually define who that person was, which you could actually do and not ruin your story.
And also allow people to still have whatever character they want, because this is a new one. Who you were in the past, you'd have to find out and then go, that's literally not me anymore.
And you would actually have to take a stance on your own story. This time, I'll do it right.
Okay.
The moment I realize it, the red fades from my vision, and I am lying on the ground, back in the lazarette.
Trying not to drop my card phone on my face.
Damn. But we're going to have to drop it in the next one. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos. Interacting with them actually does a lot for us in regards to YouTube algorithm. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi, Patreon, and our Twitch. There are some links in the description down below, and we'd love to see you at those locations. And I have been Scandal.
And if you do decide to monetarily support us either through Patreon or through Twitch, all of that money goes directly to improving our equipment so we can do more things with our channel. So you know what you're supporting.
Or through Ko-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of those things.
Yeah.
And I have been Lies. And it was great playing with you. Bye!